Hi friends, this is Carissa from Inky Fairy Designs, and I am back with another video here on the Shawn Petite channel. We're going to be creating this panel canvas today, and if you like videos like this one with mixed media and everything, please be sure to like and subscribe. I'm going to go ahead and show you the products that I'm using today. I pulled out or downloaded some collage packs from Shawn Petite's store. I'm using butterfly notebook collage and also bright butterfly collage packs. I'm also using her vintage wallpaper duo stencil along with the spring wreath stencil. I love both of these stencils, and I love all of her collage papers that she has available as well. To do all of the collaging, I'm using Liquitex matte medium along with some gesso. I put it on with this silicone brush today. Thought I would give it a try. I've had it for a while. And then I have an array of just different acrylic paints. I've got some Dilutions here. I've got some Dina Wakley paints here. I've also got some Art Alchemy Impasto paints, even some golden, but just different colors from different brands, just to add a little bit of color to the canvas. I also have my Stabilo Marxall and my favorite food ball journaling pen, as well as the Stabilo Woody and the Posca white paint pen. I will do a little bit of stamping today, and I pulled out my archival ink in black soot. So with the stamping, this is what I'm going to be using. This is the cut out lower foam stamped from Tim Holtz, as well as some of these stickers. Oh, and look, I have a little helper. Oh, she just had to get her hand in there. All right, so let's get started. I have sped this up quite a bit because it took, I had a lot of footage, but I sped it up, and hopefully you can see the process and get an idea and be inspired, because that is what it's all about. I started by tearing up some vintage papers that I have personally in my stash, along with some of the collage notebook papers that I downloaded from Shawn Petite. And I just tore them, added some collage medium or matte medium to my panel. I am working on an MDF board. It's an 8x10 board. Got that all collaged down, and then I added a thin layer of gesso. I'm just using the same silicone brush, and then I'm going to use a baby wipe and lift some of that gesso up, because I really do want to see all of that texture print in the background. Once that's dry, I am going to take this gray paint. I kind of had this color scheme in my head of gray and yellow and pops of teal. And so I started with this gray paint and just kind of put it all over around the edges mostly. And then I'm taking the baby wipe and I'm lifting up the paint through the stencil. So this is kind of like a reverse stenciling idea technique. I really like it, especially when I want to add color to some collage that I did, but I still want to see all of that texture through it. So that's a great way to get that bits and pieces of that texture to show through, is by doing that little reverse stenciling. And then I placed my wreath stencil over there to see where the circle would be, and I wanted to wipe away all of that paint from there as well. I really wanted that inside to be full of that collage and that text. I tried stenciling. I didn't mention this in my supplies because I ended up, I totally forgot I used it. But that is another stencil from Shawn Petite. I will have it listed below. I can't think of the name of it right now, but I didn't like it, so I just removed it with a baby wipe. That's the great thing about using some type of gel medium over your collage, is that you can do that. If you put something down before it dries and you don't like it, you can just remove it with a baby wipe. And so that's what I did. It left a little bit of that color, which I really enjoyed in those nooks and crannies of the collage, but I was able to remove that stenciling. So now I want to place my wreath. My idea for this, I've had it in my head, was to have this wreath of butterflies. I am really creating a lot. If you've kind of looked at my Instagram feed lately or my blog, I've been using a lot of butterflies in my work. And I don't know if that's just because it's spring and I'm starting to see the butterflies and I love seeing them out. And or if it's because I'm currently staying with my parents and my mom loves butterflies. I don't know. It could be either one. It could be both. But I am just using tons and tons of butterflies in my work lately, and I am not complaining. I love butterflies, and I think especially right now they are a symbol. Well, all the time they're a symbol of hope. They're a symbol of new beginning, of rebirth, of you know, the caterpillar closes into that cocoon and it can be a really dark place. I mean, who knows what they think or if they do anyway. But you imagine that you go into this really dark space, but then you come out on the other side blooming and blossoming, and there's just a lot of hope in that process. And I think we need that right now, with everything that is happening. And so that is where my inspiration came with this piece. So what I did was I fussy cut out a ton of butterflies from all of those pieces that I printed, and then I collaged them down again with that gel medium. Once they were dry, I started to pull out some paints. That's why I have so many different brands and colors, because I was just looking for colors that matched the colors in the prints, and just really wanted to kind of give a bit more texture to them so they don't just look like I slapped them on, which I did. But I wanted to make them my own, give them a little bit more painted look. But I did struggle through this a little bit. I don't have a lot of paintbrushes that I actually paint with. Most of my paintbrushes are watercolor brushes, and so I don't have a whole lot of acrylic brushes to choose from. So I think if I would have had a few more, maybe it would have made this process a little bit easier. But you can see I just kind of lay down some of that pigment and then I smooth it and blend it with my fingers. I don't rinse my brush in between. I just wipe them off, either on a baby wipe or on my apron, and then move on. I wanted to keep it very dry, and do most of it with dry brushing, so I didn't want to get my paintbrush wet. Again, it's a good thing to have that gel medium down, because if I don't like it, I can take that baby wipe again and wipe it right off. So I'm just going to go back and forth and kind of add some more texture and interest to the butterflies and make them a little bit more my own, but I still want to see the print and the design of those beautiful wings through the paint. So that's why I kind of lay it down, lift it up, lay it down, lift it up, and smooth it around my fingers. That makes it a little bit more transparent. And yeah, so I just kind of go back and forth until I'm happy with it. One thing that as I was working on this piece and even editing and stuff, uh, if I were to do this again, I would have added more definition to the leaves of the wreath in the background. I just stenciled them on, and then I started laying down my butterflies. I thought about it afterwards as I was painting the butterflies about adding some more definition to the leaves, but I didn't want to. I just felt like I had missed that opportunity, if you will. I could have totally done that, added some more definition to them, added a bit more depth with some paint. So if you are thinking about doing something like this, that would be my suggestion. Kind of do that, and I think I probably uh, was going to fill it entirely with butterflies and just make this huge wreath of butterflies, and then I ended up just keeping them centered towards the right and bottom left, and then that beautiful blue one up on the upper left. So I don't know. It is what it is. I really do like the way that it turned out though. So once I was done adding that texture and that paint to the collage butterflies, I'm going in with my Stabilo Marxol pencil and adding some depth and really pulling out those butterflies from the background. So without doing that, they kind of blend into the background, and you really want to bring them forward when you're doing collage. You really just want to bring those focal pieces out if they are your focal pieces. Of course, if I'm doing collage in the background, I'm not going to go ahead and do this step. So I'm just going to continue an outline, and then I bring in my water brush and activate that Stabilo Marxol, so that deepens it up, brings out that pigment a little bit more, and softens up the edges, gives it a little bit of shading. Once I've gone around all of the butterflies, I am going to take my food ball pen. This is my favorite pen to use with journaling and mixed media, and I'm just outlining bits of the butterflies, giving a little bit of doodling, adding in their little antenna back, because I did cut all of those out. I didn't fussy cut the antenna. I just wanted the wings, and I knew I could add those in on my own. Now I'm just adding some scribbles around, making it my own. This is something that I love to do when I'm collaging, is just kind of add these little scribbly lines, and it makes it my own piece of work. So I will add some more doodling, a little bit more texture around the piece. And now I'm going to go in and add my words to this canvas. And I wanted to spell out the word hope. So that's why I pulled out that letter, the stamps, letters, to do that. I don't have a stencil, and I had forgotten about these great little letters to stamp words. So I stamped that hope in there with archival ink. Now I'm going, and because it's an MDF board, there is a little bit of an edge, so I just filled that in with some black paint. Now I am taking the woody Stabilo, which is very similar to the Stabilo Marxol. It's water soluble. I can spread it with my fingers. It's just much more chunkier, and I'm able to give this border a lot easier for rather than using the small Stabilo Marxol. And then I found this sticker, and it says fill my soul, because that's truly what I want right now. I want hope to fill my soul. I don't want fear to rule my life. And I think that is a lot of what is being fed to us right now. So I encourage you to look for those pieces of hope in your life, whether they be art, whether they be artists who share with you here on YouTube or on Instagram, or even you just going into your creative space and creating some work to quiet your mind and fill your soul with some hope and some peace, because we need that. So I hope you enjoyed this little bit of a process video and tutorial, and I'm loving how it turned out. If you did enjoy this video, please, like I said in the beginning, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you are inspired by this piece or anything that you see, or you're using Shawn Petite's products, please tag Shawn Petite in your work so we can take a look at it. And if you're inspired by anything that I create, I would love it if you tag me as well at Inky Fairy Designs, because I like to come by and see what you're making and leave a little bit of thank you there. And that's it. So thank you again for watching. Until the next video. Bye.